prepared are you at this point for election?
We're very ready. We have spent the last 6 months or so fine-tuning our preparation and looking at the essential things that need to be done, preparing for them to be the critical activities in the home stretch of the campaign to be adequately funded and brilliantly executed. So far, so good. We're excited about the prospect of change. A new government for Christmas would be nice. And now we're seeing that staring us straight in the face. The issues of concern to us, Matt Peltier, and other members of the media have to do with the strategy that this government has employed to win the election. It's not a strategy based on honest engagement with the people of Dominica as to what the issues are, what the development needs of the country are, what we should do for our young people, what we should do to employ the young people of Dominica who are sitting at home at the rate of 75 in every 100, and what we should do for our senior citizens. It's all a very piecemeal approach that we have seen in the past 15 years, targeted mostly at winning votes. And we want to move away from that. We have before us a classic example. The government went to the Parliament in July with a budget that said, we will provide a $200 pension assistance for citizens above 70 years. So they go to the Parliament in the budget, they use the majority of the ruling party in the government to get budgetary approval for the money, and then they hand the forms to their political operatives to go to register the people, the 70 years and over, in their constituencies. And there are all sorts of questions on this application form that operatives of the Dominica Labour Party, not government employees, not employees of the state. This now is in the hands of operatives of the Dominica Labour Party, going out to our senior citizens and taking down information from them. But critically, on page 2 at the back here, asking them to sign a declaration that says, that is addressed to who? The Accountant General of the Treasury Department. So they're saying to the Accountant General in this declaration, what we have said here is true, and we are requesting the $200. So it will come from the Accountant General. But the people who will get it have been taken through the system, not by our paid employees in the public service, but by the political operatives of the Dominica Labour Party. I want the media to pay particular attention to this, because when we have made the point that this government is using state resources for its campaign and this is utterly corrupt, the media doesn't seem to be interested in that. We appointed to Charles Young from St. Kitts and Nevis, making $96,000 from the state to wage IT warfare on citizens and to be involved in their social media conversations and so on, and to be doing all sorts of questionable things on behalf of the Dominica Labour Party, and he's receiving payment from the Treasury for that. We see Ambassador Aaron on the political platform of the Dominica Labour Party. We see him writing articles in the paper week after week, denigrating members of the political opposition to the Dominica Labour Party. All of that part of the Labour Party's campaign for election being financed from the public purse. I'm not hearing any sense of concern in the media. I am not sensing any sense of outrage out there in the wider population. It's almost as though this is okay. United Workers' Party Team Dominica says it is not okay. It is not okay for public resources from the tax purse to be used by a political party for campaigning. Mr. Skerritt has announced that on the 27th of October, he's going to rename the Melville Hall Airport. And he's inviting people from all over Dominica to come, and transportation will be provided. This is going to be a massively expensive exercise to move people from 21 constituencies to Melville Hall for the opening. This is going to be financed again by the taxpayers of this country for what essentially Mr. Skerritt is developing as a political party event, part of his election campaign. I want the media to note this, because while that is happening, while state resources are being squandered in that way, the Ministry of Health cannot answer questions as to when the Ebola screening facility will be set up. The Ministry of Health cannot answer questions about what they have done so far to get us ready to deal with this Ebola matter. The Ministry of Education, Legal Affairs, cannot find the economic cost to pay in respect of students at our University of the West Indies. So some of them are not graduating. But the state's money is being used recklessly, and I would say disgracefully, to finance political party activity for Roosevelt Skerritt. Mr. Skerritt and his people are busy at the moment. The social media operatives, under all sorts of names, are busy going across America, hopping from here to there, putting the list together of people who are going to come down to vote illegally in the next election. This election is being surrounded by a web of bribery and corruption intended to steal the poll, because Mr. Skerritt realizes on the ground in Dominica he does not have the support to win the election. That is why we have not voted yet. So they're hoping now that the theft, strategies of theft, strategies of corruption, strategies of bribing the people are what will carry them through. And the people of Dominica are insisting this time that we've gone down that road before. We know the movie, we've seen it before, we know the ending. It's not ending like that again. We will change the ending of the movie.